Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Galaxy. Last time we completed the Drigellums of Courage and Compassion for Simon and then for Lilica. This time, after we made our way all the way here and I lost track of any sense of time, we ended the episode off here. I'll probably only do another 2 of the paths today. I think I went through and I edited that episode, and I like being able to focus a lot more time on it. Plus, there's a little more involved in putting those episodes together than just going through and cutting out battles. So I think we'll probably do that today. There's also a scene that will play out after doing 3 of these, regardless of which 3 they are. And you don't have to do these in any particular order. You can do them in whichever order you like. But anyway, we're on the sky blue path, so let's make our way in. The Jupas story.
Now my time-space warp system is almost complete. Time for a little siesta.
Well, this is boring. Very boring. Oh my god, action! Save me!
Forgive me, Jupas. As your assistant, I've always admired and respected you. But today, I have no choice but to disobey you for the first time.
What? Tony, you mean...
This device has a critical flaw. I've told you about it time and time again, but you never listen. If it's released as is, the next public trial will definitely end in fatalities. And you've always taken such pride in yourself and your work. I know that a failure like this would make you quit your research altogether. I've been doing this research with you for 10 years now. This is our dream, both mine and yours. I love this work just as much as you do, but this device isn't fit for release yet. You're a genius, Jupas. I'm certain that one day you'll discover a way to correct this defect and make our research a success. As long as you don't lose your pride as a scientist. All these years I've been able to work beside you. I'm so grateful.
There are 1,000 better ways to do that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Do you know what you've just done?
Please forgive me. I'm such a klutz. I take full responsibility.
You idiot! You're fired! Do you hear me? Get out of here! You did that on purpose, Tony? What in the world were you thinking? Huh? Oh no! Did I do this? Tony was absolutely right! This design has a fundamental, critical flaw! Why didn't I notice it myself back then? Because I stayed up working for a week straight? Not very likely. I'd never make a flub like this, even if I were exhausted. So, that means... I didn't want to admit to a mistake my assistant pointed out. My pride wouldn't let me. So I just pretended I didn't see the flaw at all. Oh, what a pitiful, petty man I am. And still, Tony saved my life as a researcher. I lost my best assistant, all for my scientist's pride. Oh, what have I done?
Jupas, I see you finally realized what true pride really is.
Tony, I'm so sorry.
I have no regrets. The 10 years I spent working with you, Jupas, it was the most thrilling time in my life. Me too. Jupus, I never had what it took to do research by your side. I pushed myself to exhaustion. I did everything I could to try to keep up with your talents. But you taught me so much. The power of a strong heart to make the impossible possible. A scientist's pride. Here, take this.
Huh?
The Drigellum of Pride.
Tony, come work with me again. We'll get that research right this time. Together. It's okay. No one would want to be my assistant now.
No, I'd be happy to. I bet you can complete that project now. I'm sure of it. Why don't we give it a shot? The two of us.
You mean you've forgiven me?
Either way, I'm the only assistant the scientific genius Jupus Tuki Magano has. And it's going to stay that way.
Tony.
I'll be waiting for you with some gourmet coffee.
And after the third of those scenes, whichever three they are, the world does not stand still as we do this.
Whoa! What is that?
Jester, look!
No way. Could it be?
That's what it looks like. The one behind all the room. Mother.
It's a snake.
Foolish humans. Do you think you can defeat me with measly Drigellum power?
Well, there goes that.
No! Our Drigellums! You have no need for such triggers. Now, let me show you just how futile it is to oppose me. Bow before my power!
Nice lack of animation to show that.
Damn. She's strong, all right.
This is totally out of our league.
I have surpassed all life forms. My powers are infinite. Mere humans like you could never defeat me. If only it weren't for these silly Drigellums. The galaxy would be blessed with eternal peace. Time to face the true humans. The Queen's lackeys. How impudent!
Wait a minute now.
Hey! Jester, my boy!
The guy's indestructible.
Burton? And that robot?
Ragnar!
Listen here, robot. This isn't getting us anywhere. Can't you do something? How about you unleash some of your ancient power, eh?
I have drawn energy from all of Mariglent to construct a barrier.
Brilliant! Whatever you just said, then let's do that! Woohoo!
I like the swerve with Burton. They left us under the impression that he was dead.
What precisely did you think this would do to me? No matter. Your power won't last long anyway. And when it runs out, it's the end of the line for you all.
And we get our Drigellum back.
Burton, how did you get here? No time to talk now. I'll explain everything later. The Queen told me all about you folks.
I have used the power of Mariglen to form a barrier. Even Mother will not be able to harm us. For a while, anyway. Come, we must hurry. There are still Drigellums to be collected. The final battle has already begun.
Yep. Come on, robot. Let's get out of here and go tell the Queen.
Well, he kind of Deus Ex Machina'd us. I'll take it. Yeah, I actually really enjoy that. The swerve with Burton is really well done. They make it seem as though he's dead with the, you know, with the red eyes glowing, like when we fought Ragnar. Good use of kind of the tropes that we've seen earlier on. Red eyes mean fight. Burton is faced with that, and then he gets to show up later and save the day. Also, I have no idea why Burton is so important to everything, but he seems to be indestructible and can do whatever the bloody hell he wants and still end up all right in the end. Anyway, when it comes to Jupus, I'm sorry. He's had exactly no characterization, slightly more than Simon, but not by much. And the only characterization we've actually had so far is that he whines a lot. That's it. He's a whiny character that doesn't really do anything that's particularly interesting. He's not all that likable. And he's had almost no dialogue since we recruited him in Chapter 5. Kind of strange. We get these characters, but we get no further dialogue to further expand upon their characters over the course of the game. This is one of the failures I find in the characterization and the writing of this game, is that we get characters, they have an arc, and then that arc ends, and then we don't do anything with it. This is one of the issues I have with a number of other games as well, Star Ocean: The Last Hope being one of them. You get a character, they have an arc, that arc finishes, and then they literally don't do anything for the rest of the game. They don't grow beyond that one arc. Even with older games, with pixel art on the Super Nintendo, the characters usually have additional lines of dialogue that go throughout the game that further emphasize aspects of their character and allow them to grow and change. Jupus, I didn't even realize he had an arc up until the point that we get here. Oh, and by the way, give him an arc. It's kind of weird the way that they've designed this whole sequence with Jupus. But yeah, there's no substance to him, very flat. Like, he's great in battle, don't get me wrong. He's one of the better characters to have in battle. He's got powerful physical, he's got a physical buff, he's got decent enough magical attacks to take out enemies the vast majority of the time. But the thing is, his assistant has more of an arc than Jupus does. And his assistant has far less screen time, a couple of minutes. At least with his assistant thought about things. In the case of Jupus, he's mad because he's losing his job. They talk about him potentially losing his wife in a throwaway line, and she's never mentioned again. We don't know anything about his home life. We don't know anything about him other than he likes coffee and he whines about everything. Not very good character traits to have. Also kind of strange. In the first two of these sequences, we had... Actually, no. Now that I think about it, that's not the case. I was thinking that in the case of Lilica, you know, she was talking to her mother, and her mother's the one who gave her the Drigellum. And I thought the same was true for Simon, but I guess in Simon's case, you know, in Lilica's case, the mother is passed on, but in Simon's case, the wife is not passed on. We have already seen that. Though I wouldn't have been surprised if they had gone that route, considering all the places that they went to, all the places that they tried to go in order to find Sho. And here I am supposed to be talking about Jupus, and we're talking about other characters because they're just simply more interesting. But yeah, Jupus is a very flat character, not particularly interesting, and that's pretty much all there is to it, sad to say. And as you can see from that footage there, we managed to phase an enemy off a cliff into nothingness. So that was fun. Had to run away from that battle. But here is the dark blue path. This one is for Steve.
Is this a vision? Funny, robots don't usually have visions. Wonder what's going on.
Mark, I'm gonna keep working hard. You'll see, I'll be turning out inventions left and right, just like the old days.
Still mourning Mark, I see. I guess Dr. Picacho really needs his son. It's so sad.
No, Steve. That's not it.
Huh? Mark?
Take a look, Steve.
And this one is nearly finished too. I'm so excited. I must have had a little too much to drink. I should know better.
What? It looks just like a human.
Dad could see what was coming. He knew we wouldn't have much time left together. So, he went to work and started preparing for a new life. That's Dad's new life. What he's working on over there.
Huh? What do you mean?
He put my memories in you, Steve, and made you experience lots of stuff. But not just because he misses me. He did it because he wanted to perfect his new robot, too. You see? He's making that one for you. Do you understand now? That's your new body, Steve.
What? My new body?
You always wanted to be human. And that way, Dad would be able to love you just like he loved me. Right?
Well,
More than anything, that was your greatest desire. And Dad, he knew that. That's the reason he started making it for you.
You're right. I did want to be like a human. I always envied you, Mark.
You see, it wasn't just you who had this desire. It turned out to be Dad's dream, too.
Dr. Picacho's?
What he wants is to set out on a new life with the two of you. That is the dream that you two share. That strong hope, the power that you both have in your hearts. Here, this is for you.
And we get the Drigellum of Desire.
Dad's not looking back at the past anymore. He started moving on toward the future. There's no need to worry about him. Well, I guess this is goodbye, Steve.
Mark!
I want you to take care of Dad. Since I can't.
Mark!
Now, they've basically given the data story to Steve here. The wanting to become human. This is a sci-fi trope that's as old as sci-fi. There's always an artificial intelligence aiming to become human or to get as close to humanity as possible. The problem with this case is Steve hasn't expressed that desire at all. And it's kind of weird that they make this his overarching character arc that they decide to finish off at the end of the game, because it's not really something that pertains to the character that they've shown us. This may have been in the original conceptual phase for the character, but it doesn't show in what we are actually given. The problem here is it just doesn't land for Steve. It doesn't work for him. There's more of an arc here for the Doctor than for Steve himself. And the Doctor's arc I actually like, and he grows a lot more than even Steve does, because Steve doesn't really grow that much over the course of the game. His character arc is fun, like his characterization, but like he doesn't really grow all that much. He's kind of a combination between like this cowardly lion, C-3PO kind of idea where, you know, he's kind of supposed to be funny and cowardly, but at the same time, he's also raring to go to help save people. But in the sense, like, it has that hesitation that you often associate with cowardice, especially in media. So it's kind of interesting, but he doesn't have this big arc that changes from the start of the game to the end of the game. He's very much the exact same character. And I guess his main growth is the fact that Mark was able to kind of go with him and kind of impart that emotional template, I guess, onto Steve as a robotic AI. But most of that has already, well, I wouldn't say most of it, but it's already happened enough by the time we meet Steve at the start of the game, because there's very little change over the course in terms of how he interacts with party members, how he talks, anything like that. So, well, I think the idea is usually a good idea for sci-fi. Here, it really doesn't do much of anything. And with that done there, I think we're going to call her a day. It's another short episode, but it allows me to focus a lot more on each individual characters instead of just, you know, running through and haphazardly talking about them without being able to remember what I'm doing and everything. So anyway, I like giving them good focus. So that was the, let's see here. Which ones did we get? So we got Pride for Jupus, and we've got Desire for Steve. That leaves us with 3 more remaining. I think we'll take care of those 3 next time. You take a look at the map here, you'll notice that I did skip one. I've basically been going in counterclockwise order, but I did skip one. That's the one that leads toward the end. We might start focusing on that one at some point, but like, you can get to the end, but they won't let you actually do anything until you do all of the Drigellums, which means we need to do the other 3 paths yet, so. But anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for today, and I'll see you guys next time.